Thomas Rica. He's a former public works inspector for the city of Ridgewood in New Jersey. And he was sentenced to 5 years probation after he stole, are you ready for this? $460,000 in quarters.
Jeez.
Here's how he did it. He took them from parking meters, basically.
That's nearly 2 million quarters.
Oh, look at the big
Am I
brain on
wrong?
Ben.
He's insanely good at math.
So he stole the quarters over the course of 2 years from a storage room and pled guilty to 4 counts of theft as part of the plea deal. So this is what CBS New York had to say. Under the plea deal, Rica will pay back a little more than half of what he admits he stole. Some critics have said Rica should have received some prison time and paid back all the money he stole, but Bergen County prosecutors have defended the deal given to Rica.
How arbitrary is justice in this country?
So arbitrary.
And I don't mean to like call out Jersey, but it's Jersey.
No, it's crazy though. This guy like stole nearly $500,000.
Yeah.
And just because it's in the form of quarters, it's okay? And he doesn't have to pay back the entire amount. He
No.
only pays back half of
You
it.
just did a story 2 stories ago about this poor guy with this serious cancer
what I
in
was gonna
Iowa.
say, yep.
And that guy's facing a minimum of 3 years in prison?
Which is basically a death sentence for him.
Right, and this guy, look, I don't think this guy should go to jail either. I mean, I'm fine with that deal. But I mean,
Really? I'm not.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
well,
not. He should be behind bars.
Come on, he's
Yes.
just doing laundry.
He stole $500,000. I don't care if it's in the form of quarters. I don't care if it's in $100 bills. He
Jeans
stole
were dirty,
$500,000. Come on.
He didn't really steal $500,000.
Yes, he did.
But that money,
$460,000.
Just because it's hilarious doesn't not make him a thief.
He still stole that money.
That's where I'm going to disagree.
There's
It's
the
too funny.
disagreement.
It's too funny.
That's
it's a pain
why
in the
he won't
ass.
send him to
Probation.
jail.
He's not violent. There's no this guy.
No,
This guy needs to be
okay,
in
just
prison.
stop for a second, okay? My #1 pet peeve is paying for fucking parking, all right? Oh, do I have enough quarters? Where are the quarters? Let me use my card. Is my card gonna work? Like, it's a pain in the ass, right? So to know that I'm doing that because it's a regressive tax, that's like pet peeve #1. And then to know that some jerk off happens to steal nearly $500,000 worth of those quarters, and then he doesn't get any real consequence for it, pet peeve #2. That's not okay.
Okay, first
That's
of all,
a good point. 2 good points.
yeah, but what do you care what happens to the money after it's gone? Like,
I care because that money is supposed to go back to the community, whether it's for infrastructure or whatever. It's not supposed to go into the pockets of the freaking.
And it did. It just went to a very specific part of the community.
Yes.
This dude.
Yeah.
it's quarters.
It's that.
It's quarters.
I mean, they still cash, right?
Let him go.
No, does he get a scoot?
Let's do it. TYT Supreme Court.
Oh,
Court's in session.
Thomas Rica.
Thomas Rica. You've got a good name. So Thomas Rica steals $460,000 in quarters.
From parking meters.
From
let's
parking
be
meters,
specific.
right? He didn't take it from the elderly. He didn't take it from the 98-year-old woman who I'm
from the fluff and fold.
Right, exactly.
He just took it from the poor people in the community that have to pay for freaking parking.
They would have had to pay anyway. So 3 years of probation, and he's got to make restitution of half the money, which is presumably what he has left.
Right.
You know, more or less. Can you imagine him going to dinner, by the way? That'd be $48.25. Okay, just hang on a second. It's going to take a little bit.
And how many times do you think he says keep the change?
Before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he keeps Coinstar in business.
Yeah.
They are kind of that.
Okay, so I think that that's prosecutors who obviously are interested in prosecuting crime have come up with they've worked out a deal with him. They don't want to send this guy to real bad guy jail, and they 3 years probation
It's 5 years probation.
Great, even better, 5 years probation.
None.
3 is too many. My vote is clear. Gina?
I think it's crazy that you think that this is okay because it's quarters. If I stole $500,000, I would be certain that I would go to jail and have to pay back all that money. They wouldn't be like, between you and me, empty out your change cart in the middle of the car and we'll call it a deal.
I don't know. It's a little genius. So you're sending him to prison?
Or pay back $460,000 in quarters. 2 million quarters.
Guilty. He deserves jail time, or he pays back the full amount. The fact that he's only paying back half the amount and he gets probation. What's probation?
We have a couple of guest judges here. Mike?
The weird thing about this is today I was outside and I was looking at the meters and I was thinking about how noticeable it would be if I cut them all down. Because they're just such a fucking piece of shit thing. They just drive me crazy. And the Young Turks is the worst because we are just getting bled dry by the city. Every day, somebody here is getting a ticket because the parking meter's outside.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's guilty. This is not related too much.
He's just airing out his biases.
Yeah. So, I mean, he didn't steal them from parking meters? Where did he steal them from then?
He stole them from,
the
no, they were parking
storage
meters,
unit.
but he got them from storage.
Oh, all right. Yeah, he stole the money. You should have to
Still
pay
your
back the money.
fault.
Come on.
Thank you.
I mean, just
Thank
because
you.
it's
Does
hilarious
he go to
doesn't
prison?
mean...
Or what are we debating? I don't
Oh,
mind if
no
they- I
prison
don't-
time. No prison
But
time.
pay it all back.
Yeah,
Every
well,
last quarter.
Yeah, no, if he doesn't pay it all back, then prison time.
Thank
But
you.
if he could give it all back, you give him a year probation, maybe 2.
All right,
Be fine.
Bart.
It's quarters. Let him go. The city will make up the money. And besides, if
He
I was,
essentially stole your money. How do you feel about that?
you know what?
How do you feel about
You know-
getting robbed?
I don't feel bad at all. It's just quarters.
I'm amazed at this like
I just
obsession with quarters right
When
now.
Bart says it, it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh, well, you got to, yeah. I mean, they got to pay it back. Sorry, Bart. It's, I think we have a ruling, though. I think he's got to pay it back in full.
Yes.
That seemed clear. That's 3. He's got to do like everybody in City Hall's laundry for a year.